Okay, today we are tackling papers. You're going to come around with me and we're going to do this real time. Now let me show you what you need, okay? You need twine, but listen, don't go out and buy twine, all right? If you have yarn, which I'm sure you do, use that, all right? If you have ribbon, then use the ribbon. I know you probably have a whole bunch of rolls of ribbon, maybe skinny ribbon or whatever, but use it, all right? Your ribbon will be so happy that you're finally going to use it, all right? So if you have ribbon, use that, all right? And rubber bands. Rubber bands are important. You're going to probably need rubber bands. So go out and get a package of rubber bands, like maybe those, like the size that's about like that big. Maybe if I put my two fingers together, the size from my knuckles, like that size. The kind that you would get like wrapped around your envelopes when the mailman comes, that kind of thing, all right? I'm using these because these are all I happen to have in the house. And you also need a little pair of scissors, and you're going to need, this is the bottom of an apple box, all right? Now you're gonna need the entire apple box, but I have a bottom that I'm walking around the house with right now. So you get it in a produce store, okay? So that's what we're gonna need, and here's what you're gonna do. You're going to walk around the house with me, and you're going to go to each pile of papers that you have, and you're going to wrap it up. Each pile of papers that you have has a specific meaning to you. You know that was, maybe you just got a divorce, and so, or maybe you're in the midst of a divorce or something like that, and so there's all of these divorce paper piles that you have. Maybe there was a car accident and you have all of the insurance or information stuff that was coming in the mail. Maybe you had a hospital stay and there's all the hospital papers that come in. You know what the piles are. It could even be time. Like maybe this was last summer, all right? Maybe it is this was the fall, all right? You know what that pile is. So we're gonna name each pile, okay? I guess, oh wait, one thing about the digital age. We're in the digital age now, so most likely your piles of papers are really old, unless you're really old like me and you're still getting lots of mail coming to the house. That might be true, but most of us now get a lot of stuff digitally. We don't actually have the hard copy mail to the house, so probably these things are really super old. If you know that a specific pile is like from 2015, 2008, right? Write that on there, all right? It'll just help you when the time comes to go through them, all right? So come on, I've staged this, so I know it doesn't look as bad as it probably does at your house. I just did the best I could with, my living conditions and my time. But don't think that you can't do this, and don't say, oh, sure, she says she can do this. Look at how, neat and tidy her house is. My house wasn't always neat and tidy. It used to be an absolute wreck, and I'll tell you a little bit later about a time that I did have, 6 filled boxes. 6. You have to get these produce boxes to do this. And depending on how many you need, how much stuff you have, is how many you'll need to get. At one point I had 6 of them filled. And I'll tell you a story about that in a little while. But you'll have to get produce boxes. So here we go, okay? So we're gonna go over to this pile. I have the pile right here. And I'm going to use the twine, I believe I'll use, all right? And this is actually yarn, right? If you don't have, please don't go out and buy, you're probably gonna have to go out and buy rubber bands, but don't go out and buy anything else. Now, one thing I did forget to do, I forgot to take my pen with me, and see how I did that? It's just the way you used to wrap up newspapers when you had to put them out front, and tie it. And what I'm going to do that I can't do right now because I neglected this, you're going to have a piece of paper and a pen. You can use Post-it notes if you want to, but a piece of paper is just fine. Write on the paper what that pile means to you, and then stick it in between here, right? All right, I'll do it when I get into the kitchen because I'll actually have the pen there, but you get it, right? You can even do it on this side where you write it on the piece of paper and you stick it in. You don't want to write it on this because you're going to, you don't know actually what that is and if it's important. I mean, God knows, we might have our birth certificates and all kinds of stuff in this information in these piles. So it's better to write it on paper. All right, so you have this, throw it in your box, bada boom, okay? Go to your next spot. So this spot here is in my dining room. Okay, so we're in the dining room. I got my pen and paper. This happens to be Post-it notes. So I'm going to write on this, my books, and then I'll put into parentheses children's. This is a pile that has to do with books that I've written, started to write, wanted to write, that I had printed out of children's books. Okay, so probably this rubber band will work. So I'll do this and stick this on there, and there you go, bada boom. See? So now you just take this and you put this in the box. There's another pile. All right, your home will be so tidy so soon because all of this stuff is now going to not be all over the house. It will be confined to a box, or many boxes, all ordered and ready for you to go through. Come on, let's do the next one. So I hope you're doing this with me, because that's the deal we have here, right? You're supposed to be doing this with me. Now I'm going to use this for this, and I'll cut my little stringy thing. Do, 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 do. And you have to sing as you do it. And then, you know, just in case you don't know how to do this, you know, you take it and you turn it upside down. You don't have to care either if it's like, oh, but it's not all nice and piled. You know, if you want to do that, fine. You don't have to, okay? It's harder to do when you don't have it piled. All right, so there. Ta-dum, ta-da. See how nice? Tie it. And maybe at the very end, I'll actually do a real demonstration of doing that, but I really think you know how. And now name this. Now, I don't know what this pile is, all right, because I'm staging this, okay? But let's pretend I do know, because I'm telling you, if this was in my home like it was a long time ago and I had piles of papers everywhere, I knew what every one of them was. I knew what every one of them was. Car accident, hospital stay, divorce, last summer. We know, we get it. We know what the deal is. So, school, especially when your kids are in school. I think that you don't get as much paper anymore as you used to. But oh my God, the kids used to come home with something. You got 5 kids, you get a lot of freaking paper. We have a deal with that too. But you know, can't do everything in one video. All right, so we're gonna just name this paper School to Do. There, School to Do. There you go, put it in there. All right, so now come on in the kitchen with me. You know, wherever you need to go, wherever papers are, that's where you're gonna go with me, okay? So wherever they are. Now here, I happen to have like a journal on top of these, so I think that one of these big ass rubber bands might work. So I'm gonna use that. And there you go, bada boom, that works. I have here my trusty little pad. And so let's call this dreams. All right, dreams. Because, you know, I write down things about what I want to do, send away for things that I like to do. So maybe I have a pile of papers that has all to do with my dreams for my life. So there you go. Now there's a couple more piles right here, so let's do it. Okay. So here's piles of papers, and this one, I think I'm going to need string, because if I had the rubber bands that I told you about, I would be able to use those, but these I won't be able to use. Now listen, one thing that's really important, just like when you're wrapping Christmas presents, you have to have your tags, your scissors, your tape, and consciously put it aside while you're wrapping, because what happens? Then you go for the next gift to wrap and you're like, where's the tape? Where's the scissors? What happened to the tags? Because they're buried underneath another, you know, like wrapping thing that you did. So it's the same thing that you have to do here. Everything that you're using as you go from room to room, put it back in the box. Don't, like I did that before. I carried it in here and I put this down on the counter, and then I was like, well, where's the pad? Don't let that happen, okay? Make sure you put it in the box. Everything goes in the box as you go from room to room. Okay, so we're gonna name this pile, and you maybe might have to look at it and say, all right, well, what the heck is this pile? All right, this is mail from July. This is all July's mail, it looks like. So July 2017 mail. And it could be like, from years ago. It could be like, July 2012 mail or something. 2007 mail, maybe even. Now, remember, it doesn't have to be Post-it notes. It just happens to be that this is a Post-it note. And I might have maybe cut this a little bit too small. Nope, it's good. All right, so here we go. There we go. That's it. Ta-da! In the box. Oh, look, there's a pile here. So I'm going to get this pile. Do-do-do-do. And this looks like it's all of the dentist mail that I got. All the dentist mail. Okay, so I'll put Dr. Russ mail. And then there. This would definitely be a rubber band, but these rubber bands are, just for staging purposes, because I didn't actually have the rubber bands to show you. But you get the picture, so I'm going to use the string. But you can see how string can work for the whole thing. You don't actually have to get the rubber bands if you don't want to. Okay, the yarn is doing a beautiful job. All right, so there. Okay, so we went through the whole house, and everything that we had, all the papers we had all over, we have tied up, we've named, and we put in box or boxes. Now we put the lids on them. We put them in a section of the house that it won't bug us. If you have a storage area, put it there. If you have a closet, that will work out, put it there. If you have an empty room, that it will work out, put it there. But make sure you keep them all together, right? And we'll talk about what to do next in a couple of minutes. To be a part of this free dejunking series, go to thetidytutor.com/lets-dejunk-together. Or you could go right into the description box and click on the link. Let's dejunk together. I'm Kathy Roberts, the Tidy Tutor.
You got bugs called a bug eye. You cook, bake, and apple pie. If you show, you fix your tear. Clean or clean my underwear. These are the things we do. The house is a mess with all the junk. The sink's clogged up with dinner time gunk. You pick up the phone and call Roto-Rooter to make it all work. You call the Tidy Tutor.
I think that was pretty good, don't you?